Yo, what up, hey, how you doing, guys? My name is Sangiev. Today we are back with another video, and as you can tell from the title, today we're actually going to be answering a question that I get asked a lot, and those are my shopping recommendations. Now, I'm hoping to do some kind of series here where hopefully I'll be doing a video in London and other cities that I travel a lot, and I feel like I can share some gems, be it Paris, be it New York, be it LA. I mean, I'm not an LA native. I've only been here, what, 5 times, I think, over the last sort of 3-4 years. I've been here for a good amount of times though, so like whenever I've come here, it's always been 2 to 3 weeks. This is the longest trip that we've been on, then it's been, what, a month. So I feel like I know my spots, but with that being said, I'm obviously not going to be talking through absolutely all of the shopping spots, especially when it comes to the streetwear end of things. If you're looking for streetwear shopping recommendations, I mean, there's plenty of other videos on YouTube, especially the whole Melrose YouTube fashion scene. So do check those out, but I won't be speaking so much about streetwear, more so about my passions, which are mostly vintage stores and some little boutiques here and there. Now, I want to say a massive thank you to the beautiful people over at ShopTagger for sponsoring this video and for showing continuous love to the channel. Basically a little widget that you install on your browser or on your app as a phone, or as an app on your phone for you to save items onto a platform or wish list, and it will notify you whenever an item goes on sale, which is crucial. Click the link in the description box down below. It should be the first link. Download the ShopTagger widget. You'll be taken to the page now. As you can see, I've already saved a bunch of items that I'm keeping my eyes out on. But like I've said previously, it's a beautiful way to kind of save pieces from various retailers all in one spot, so then you can be notified whenever something goes on sale, and it's super easy to do as well. Go to your favorite retailer, browse through all the stuff, find out one item that you wish to keep an eye out on, click on it, and on this side, on the on the right hand top corner, a little blue widget will pop up with the ShopTagger logo. Click on it, and what this allows you to do through the various options, be it the size, the price changes, which you can choose between 25 to 50% in any price change. I usually leave it on any, just because it allows me to be notified whenever there's, as the title suggests, any price change. And then if you wanted to, you could add it to your list as well, which you can create on the platform. And you click save, you go back to ShopTagger, and boom, the item has been saved, and you will be notified whenever this item goes on sale. And also you'll be notified if it's an item that has been sold out and then comes back in stock. Like the amount of times that I've purchased items when they were sold out and then there was one in my size that came back in stock, ShopTagger notified me and I was good to go. And then lastly, they've added this neat little feature which basically scours the internet for any coupons or discounts that can be applied towards your order. This little pop-up will come up, and once you click on apply coupon, it will test out the codes. If any of them works, then you've saved yourself some money. If not, then you get this little pop-up, and yeah, you can carry on. So if you wish to download it and check it out and support the boys, links to it will be in the description box down below. Do check them out, do show them love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. With that being said, we're gonna crack on with our shopping list. I've got them all written on my phone. I've broken them down into 2 main sections, which was vintage and sort of quote designer, and then obviously we had an honourable mentions list as well. But we're gonna start things off with vintage, and we're gonna throw out the most basic, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's definitely the most popular, or one of the most popular vintage stores or stores here in LA at the moment, and those are the Round 2 stores. Now, there is the main store, which is Round 2 itself, then you have Round 2 Vintage, which I absolutely love, and then you obviously have the merch stores and blah blah blah, but I'm only talking about the Round 2 and the Round 2 Vintage, primarily the Vintage, because that's where I tend to go whenever I want to check out some vintage stuff. They've got a crazy selection. This is as much of a streetwear option that you're going to get from me. I feel like they truly cover all bases, well, to a certain extent all bases. It's still primarily vintage t-shirts that you're going to find over there, but you're going to find some sick sweatshirts, some shoes, some sports memorabilia, caps, jerseys, all that sort of stuff. Round 2 have a crazy selection, good vibe as well. It's not quite like it is portrayed on the show, as I'm sure you're all aware, especially those that shop there, but there's still a good vibe. Everyone's super polite, super nice. Yeah man, definitely a store that if you've never been to LA and this is your first time, I would definitely recommend you guys to go check it out. Then we're moving on to another store, also on Melrose, but a bit further out, called Varsity. By the way, every single store that I'm mentioning today will be in the description box down below with their address, so if you wish to kind of save that or screenshot it, then go ahead. But Varsity, incredible store, man. Once again, they've got a big selection of vintage t-shirts. This time, it's a lot more curated. You're gonna find stuff for both men's and women's, and it's not just vintage tees. You're gonna find some shirts, you're gonna find some jeans, trousers, the whole lot. I think it's definitely up there with one of my favorite vintage stores, and it has the perfect balance of what I'd consider to be LA vintage, which is pretty much that whole skater, vintage t-shirts and that sort of vibe, but also some cool curated pieces like trousers, like jeans, overalls, those sort of stuff. I've copped plenty of stuff from them in the past, and it's definitely one that gets my thumbs up. So Varsity, definitely check it out. Third, we have, in my opinion, my favorite vintage store here in LA, and that is called Vintage on Hollywood. It's on Hollywood Boulevard. Right, like, man, this vintage store, to me, it's perfect. However, to some, they might consider it to be too costumey, but I absolutely love that. First of all, the selection is by far one of the best I've ever seen across all stores in the world. Comes out with some craziest pieces from the 30s to the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. He's got them all. The space of the store is quite large. However, it's been designed in such a way that you can just very easily swift through the beautiful racks and the beautiful presentation as well. Now, the only thing about Vintage on Hollywood, out of this bunch, is definitely the most expensive when it comes to vintage pieces, just because of how heavily curated the pieces are. Most of them are going to be extremely tough to find in any sort of thrift stores. So if you've got money, or if you wish to draw inspiration from anything, definitely check out Vintage on Hollywood. I mean, in some of the B-rolls, hopefully you'll see some of the footage that I got. Normally you're not allowed to film in most of these stores, but some of them were very kind enough to allow me to film inside. And boy, selection is absolutely insane. And some of the pieces and the prices, mad. Then another one, a more recent addition to my list, it's called Golden Age. Now this store can be found in Silver Lake. I happened to just walk past it after I had breakfast there. I was really impressed with the selection. It's very sort of military inspired, but they've thrown in various pieces from all sorts of era, and they've got some absolutely cracking pieces in all sorts of colors. And something as well that I noticed in that store more so than the others was, like I just said, the colors, but also the fades. There were some beautiful pieces, faded just amazingly. Now, it must mean that the owner or the curator is definitely looking for something specific when it comes to what he wishes to have in a store, and it's absolutely incredible. Golden Age, this was my first time, well, I've been there a few times since, but this was my first time that I've been there on this trip, and man, I'm so happy to have come across it. So it's a nice little jacket you got there, mate, eh?
Just trying it out, just take it for a test drive.
So this was one of the pieces that he got from Golden Age, looking fire!
Need to like iron the pockets a little bit. They look a little bit frilly.
Yeah, you're good, you're good. Wait, turn to me real quick, one sec. There we go, mate. Oh, clean, clean. It's good, mate, it's good. I just remembered I forgot my ring, so I'm gonna quickly... Another store that I've just come across recently is called Boot Star. This one is on Sunset Boulevard, and man, I felt like I was in heaven. A friend of mine recommended it to me when he went to purchase some cowboy boots, and this store is absolutely incredible. Now, I'm gonna put it in the vintage bracket, although they have a lot of new pieces, be it shirts, be it belts, boots. This is, as the title of the, well, as the name of the store suggests, a store primarily dedicated to boots and to a very cowboy West End themed pieces. They do, however, have a wall of vintage cowboy boots, hence why I'm throwing it in there. It's very niche. It's absolutely amazing. If you are in LA or if you're planning to come to LA, this is definitely a store that I recommend you guys to check out. I even picked out a piece from there, which I'll be excited to show you guys in the future. And then to close it off, when it comes to vintage stores, well, this isn't so much of a vintage store, but it is the Rose Bowl Flea Market, which happens every second Sunday of every month. So it happens once a month, every second Sunday of the month. Craziest event that I go to whenever I'm in LA. And I try to sort of time my LA trip so that I can go to the Rose Bowl, just because it is very much like, if you can go out there and spend the whole day, it's super easy to do so. Vintage tees for like $5, $10. Some of them are obviously going to be a lot more pricey depending on the stores that you go to. Some are extremely well curated, much like the other stores. Some are extremely well curated, some are just literally thousands of t-shirts just thrown on a rail, and you just have to kind of sift through each and every single one of them. But it's definitely an event that you should all check out if you get the opportunity to do so, because it's fire. And then we're going to move on to designers / boutique stores. Now LA has a huge array of stores. I mean, I don't know my geography that well, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the biggest cities here in the US, right? Surely, like top 5, or at least top 5 most famous cities in the US. So you are bound to find pretty much every single designer have near enough their own boutiques, if not being a department store. So I did include Barneys and Rodeo Drive just because it's an experience in itself. The Barneys on Rodeo, just off Rodeo, is absolutely incredible. You're gonna find, I mean, if you're into designer stuff, you're gonna find pretty much everything there. But even if you don't find something there, you can just take a stroll down Rodeo Drive and you'll find some incredible stores with just amazing merchandising and just an amazing experience, you know? But yeah, Rodeo, Barneys, this is the first one, very brief, but do check it out just because you absolutely have to. Then another store that I'd recommend is called Cruvoir. I think that's how you pronounce it. Okay, so I just clocked whilst editing this video that I actually had a shocker here. The store's name isn't Cruvoir, it's Cruvoir, C-R-U-V-O-I-R. My phone's autocorrect has done me dirty, but yeah, just thought I'd correct myself. And that is on Melrose. Super low key. In fact, if I recall properly, they didn't even have any signs outside. It was just a black sort of, what are they called? Just those big signs, pure black, glass windows. Selection is really cool. Definitely more on the avant-garde, black scale fashion. Think Guidi, think Yoji, Rick, all those cats basically. Again, menswear and women's wear. The selection was very well curated, at least I thought so. I enjoyed the pieces that they had. Now I went in there to try some Guidi boots just because I've been wanting to add them to my collection. Yes, I know it's another pair of boots, but hey man, I think they're absolutely fire. Now the pair that I wanted, which was the red boot with the front zip, was sold out in my size. However, they had this really sick sort of camo worn green pair of boots, which was slightly smaller, not as tall as the red one that I'm after, and they fit beautifully. So yeah, definitely check it out. Basically, if you hit Melrose, you can pretty much find everything, man. Be it vintage, be it high street stores, be it designer stores, you can find the lot. Then moving down, actually, let's not move down, let's stay on Melrose, but the other end of Melrose, you get to Maxfield, which is one of the, again, another super famous and popular designer boutique. Their layout is crazy. I went there a couple of times and I always love the way that they display their clothes, the little sort of greenhouse chamber that they have. Just an absolutely amazing store, really. Well curated, really cool pieces that ticks both the streetwear kids but also the sort of high-end kids. I think it's fair to say that you'll find something that's for everyone there, and they do a very good job at creating some cool events as well. They do some pop-ups here and there. If I recall properly, Fear of God did a couple of things, Jerry Lorenzo did a couple of things there, and a couple of other designers have done some little pop-ups at Maxfield. So Maxfield LA, they're full, check it out. And then the final store, and I kept the last till best, at least when it comes to designers, is Departamento in the Arts District. Departamento, super niche, man. I absolutely love it. I've been there a couple of times. They shifted their locations, so they're currently still in the Arts District, but behind this coffee shop place. Oh my God, I forgot what the name of the coffee shop is. But basically, they're behind this coffee shop place, which kind of gives a really intimate feel to the store. Not everybody, it's not that not everybody can get there, but it's very hidden, tucked away. And so whenever you go in there, whenever I've been there, there's been no more than myself and perhaps another customer there, which is cool because then you get to interact with the people that work there, you get to create a conversation, speak about the pieces, and you know, the service is absolutely premium, mate. So Departamento, great buy. They've got some amazing pieces. I've showed them in my vlog previously. They have some great price points. Some of them are going to be super expensive, some of them are going to be a lot more affordable. And yeah, man, Departamento is going to wrap up other designers, and obviously you can't do all of this and not have any honorable mentions, so I'm going to whiz through them very quickly. Dover Street Market, obviously, but again, the reason why I didn't want to mention Dover Street Market, most people know about it, so they don't need to come to me to find out about it. But it's an incredible store, definitely, once again, an experience. Once again, in the Arts District, so go to Dover Street Market, check out Departamento, and vice versa. You have H. Lorenzo on Sunset, again, I feel like it's quite a famous store. This was definitely one of the stores that I heard a very long time ago about LA and cool fashion brands. H. Lorenzo was the one. Then you have Rick Owens, which is just off Melrose in North La Brea Avenue. Yeah, Rick Owens, like I said, I didn't want to mention individual designers. However, the store for Rick Owens is so good. Even if you're not going to cop anything, go there, check it out. It's an experience and it just looks absolutely incredible. The staff there were absolutely wonderful as well, which is a very big thumbs up. And then last but certainly not the least, we have Mr. Nick Fouquet's hat in Venice, the hat maker's store in Venice. Boy, I really wanted to cop a hat this time around on this LA trip, but I told myself, Sand, you're going to Vegas. If you win big in Vegas, you can get a hat. If you don't win big, you're not getting a hat. And I lost big, so I definitely am not going to get a hat on this trip. However, the next time I'm in LA is definitely on the cards, like almost certainly on the cards. In fact, I'm gonna land in LA the next time, and within the first couple of days, I'm heading to Nick Fouquet and I'm getting a hat, and hopefully I'll be able to document the whole journey, the whole process, because they make custom hats. Incredible store, just so sick. Like, it's so hard to describe, so sick. If you can, go there, check it out. But that is going to wrap up this video of my favorite stores here in LA. Now, I'm not saying that these are the only stores, I'm not saying that these are the best stores, these are just my favorite. So if you're based in LA and if you have any other recommendations, definitely let me know in the comment section down below, and I'm sure it will be very helpful to the many that will hopefully come across them as well. I also didn't mention any sort of Goodwills or any sort of thrifts, just because I don't know them. Like, I'll hit up a couple, but I don't know of them as like a store that I can speak about, you know what I mean? One of the best thrift stores here is the Goodwill just off this street. So for that reason, I didn't mention any of those, but if you know what the best Goodwill is in LA, then do let me know in the comment section down below. That is it from me. If you wish to follow me on social media, it's all right here in this corner, SANGIEV. Thank you to the beautiful people over at ShopTagger for once again sponsoring this video. Links to download ShopTagger will be in the description box down below, so do check it out if you wish. Thank you ever so much for your continuous support, and also for those wondering, the shirt is from Kira. Super cozy, super vibes. Where am I going with this? That's it, that is it. Have a beautiful day, take care.